Alright, so let's get this started with movement, so muscles and bones. Gonna get talking about all that stuff. Let me get a good color here. There we go. Okay, so movement, we got a tree map now. So bam, let me switch here to black. Good. So so actually that should be skeleton. So here we got muscles and skeleton. You know what I'm writing, even though it's messy. I apologize. Movement. Sorry. Got movement. We got support, and then we got protection. I'm sorry, do I have that next slide open? I do, I think. So I can move that next one if I need to. So, movement, muscles act with bones, and that allows the lever to move, and you can do all sorts of things. Let's see, and then on the support end, I think I'm going to switch to this next side for my map on. So I think it was support, and then movement. No, protection. So support would be your muscles need to be connected, so your cartilage and ligaments, and then tendons help to support your body. And protection, think about what I have right here. Your skull help to protect the brain, and right below it, right here, your ribs help to protect two main things, H and L, and you know what those are: heart and your lungs. So that's the basic overview of our skeletal system there. So fluorescent calcium ions, why would those help you help scientists figure out how muscles work? Well, calcium ions signal muscle to contract. So without the calcium, it's not going to contract. So if you follow the calcium, you then can follow contraction of the muscle. And that's done all, I mean, this is so common in science for fluorescent molecules to be tracked through different systems, so scientists can see what's happening. Remember, you have that action, just to look over it, you have the action potential show up at the sarcomere, and this would be from a motor neuron, just to add that in there. The sarcomere, that releases the calcium 2+, and that goes to the troponin, and that allows contraction. So if you don't have that calcium, you're not going to have any contraction. That's, usually we think of calcium there for our bones and bone development, but also very important for muscle contraction. And let me get into this experiment on Nutella. What was it? Nutella. I keep forgetting the last. What? I guess I added in there. Nutella Maximus. But it's pretty cool because this is a type of algae. So the fact that we can use algae to figure out muscles, that's pretty incredible. And it really shows you how life is very similar to itself. All life is similar. We can study algae to figure out how our muscles work. So what happened, if we look at a little myosin molecule, this would be our little myosin molecule, they attached a fluorescent bead to it. Fluorescent bead. This is, so stuck it right there. This is the myosin. And this little myosin walks in the algae. It walks along an actin fiber. So this muscle moves along the actin. So what they did, they were able to line up this actin and then label this myosin, and then they added ATP. And what we know about ATP, that it powers all living things. So once they added, and you might expect, you added ATP to this system, this would walk along the actin. And the more ATP equals more movement. So if you check this out, and you have this in your book, this is increasing ATP. This is increasing movement. So as you increase the ATP, you increase the movement until you finally hit a plateau. It plateaus because there's not possible. You exhaust. There's not any more myosin here. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. No more myosin for the ATP to bind to. Remember, the ATP comes in and then it leaves is you remember, ADP. And as long as you have, you add the ATP, it'll recycle. So, amazing type of algae. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So, exoskeletons surround the body. We do not have those, but we know insects do. And guess what this would be? They live in the ocean, and some people like to eat them. Very fancy food type, usually the most expensive thing on the menu, and put them in salads, crust. I meant like lobster and crabs, but those are all type of crustaceans. Crustaceans, I think I got it right there. And the opposite of exoskeletons are endoskeletons, like we have on the inside. And both types, whether you have an exo or endoskeleton, they have a place where muscles can attach. That's the key. You gotta have some place to put the muscle to attach it, or you're not going to really have much movement. Some sea organisms can, contract, and then like hydra, jellyfish, not have any kind of a skeleton. They can have some kind of movement. But if you want to do something sophisticated like walking or flying like insects do, you're going to need something to attach it to. And muscles can attach and allow that movement. All right. And what we see are these levers, and there are three basic types. We got a class 1, okay, or primary, class 1 or first class. We got second class. I can't write in there for some reason. Second class, and we have third class. And you'll see the difference is where this fulcrum, where you're rotating it. So here it's in the middle like a seesaw. Very fun to do, use a seesaw. At the playground, you may never have actually seen one in person because they cause a lot of injuries. I remember getting rocked myself when I was a kid on a couple of seesaws. But lots of fun, like a merry-go-round too. Classic playground toys you rarely see. Here's like, if any of you have used a wheelbarrow, you'll see here you have the fulcrum, and then you're pulling up, and then you have the load in there. And then here's a third class where you got like your bicep. This is your elbow, and this is like your bicep muscle. Of course, in human, it's attached a lot lower, not in the middle. Think about What if your bicep did attach to the middle of the arm? That'd be pretty crazy. You can pick up the load, which is, anything you're picking up. Book. A lot of you will probably be doing some kind of experiment. So, first class. One that's in your book is like your head, nose, lips, chin. Terrible. But first class, if you remember, you have a pivot. So let me get that ahead. Forget about this. You have muscles in the back of your neck right here. So these are your muscles right here. This is the force, and this is the fulcrum right here. You pivot, and your head can either move up or move down. The second class would be, think about your leg. So let me draw. This is what it shows in the book. So you draw your foot, you got your heel, whoop, you got your calf muscle. Here you have the fulcrum out here. This is like your wheelbarrow, and this is the load. And you're going up and down. This is the force you're exerting over here. That's your second class. And third class, that would be your bicep, where you have your humerus, you got your radius and ulna, you got your hand, you got whatever. What would be fun to put in there? Wow, man. Oh, I know. You got your phone. Okay. You got your phone, got Instagram, checking out everybody's, Justin Bieber's latest pictures. So here's your bicep, very generous right there, attached, and your fulcrum, you're rotating right here, but you're pulling up kind of in the middle of the lever, rising up to there. Okay.